Part 233. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2321. Every day, I know this threat, it's too boring. Speaking of which, if the president hadn't been a grade higher than me, I would have picked him up long ago. When I also jump to become a sky-level student, I will crush him then. Zhuoqiu crossed Erlang's legs and said with disdain. Immediately, he glanced towards the distance, and there was a trace of thought in his eyes. On the Swifu Square, the oppressive force of the instructors has become stronger and stronger. Fang Fan stood there motionless like a mountain, feeling too relaxed. Little Liulai is now in the 5-star sanctuary realm, so the problem is not too big. As for the brothers and sisters Yan 11 and Lang Tianya, who are both in the 4-star sanctuary realm, although they can still resist, they are far from as easy as they appear. On the other hand, Bai Piao and Guisha looked completely okay. Brother Fang Fan, brother Bai Piao, we can't just stand around like this. We just reported our names once, and the instructors really may not be able to remember our names, or we should continue to shout a few words. Guisha has always had a lot of ghost ideas, but at this moment he suddenly rolled his eyes and said, "What do you want? Don't look for trouble, just stand here. Don't backfire." Fang Fan curled his lips and continued to complain. I think Fang Fan is right. It's meaningless to show off your skills in front of them. Bai Piao stretched her waist, looking bored. Seeing that Fan Fan and Bai Piao didn't have too many ideas, Gisha couldn't help being a little disappointed, but he didn't give up directly. He knew that Fang Fan's ideas had always been big and it was not easy to convince him, but the brother Bai Piao he just met was different. Guisha rolled his eyes, and then said with a smile, "Brother Bai Piao, do you see how many beauties are around? Most of them are beauties from the students from the outer palace. Look at their eyes, they have been staring at us all the time, the 20 or so of us are the core of their attention. But there are still more than 20 people. Seeing so many people at once, we will receive less attention. Unfortunately." Guisha said a few words in a flashy manner, which sounded like he was talking nonsense. Fang Fan shrugged and didn't even bother to listen. As for Bai Piao, his eyeballs moved after hearing the word beauty. This seems like a really good opportunity. If you can seize this opportunity, you may not be able to rise in a wave. You mean we need to keep getting more attention, so that the eyes of those beautiful students and beautiful instructors will focus on me. Bai Piao comprehended it, and couldn't help but take a deep breath at this moment. The idiot smile on his face was vividly displayed. Brother Bai Piao is really talented. Then shall we begin? The corner of Gisha's mouth slightly raised, and then he said with a smile. Immediately, the two of them exchanged glances, as if the matter had been decided. Fang Fan was surprised, as if he hadn't mentioned any means yet. But then Fang Fan knew it all. Brother Bai Piao, what kind of cultivation do you have? Why can't I see through it? Why does it seem that you are not afraid of this kind of coercion at all? Brother Gisha, we don't brag. This kind of coercion is really trivial. When I was wandering around the world, what scene didn't I see? That's it. Brother Bai Piao is really extraordinary, so powerful, a hero among men, a proud son of heaven, a peerless genius who will never be seen in all ages. Brother Gisha is not bad. It seems that this coercion is not a big deal. Brother Bai Piao, please be polite, Brother Bai Piao is the boss. Brother Gisha, speaking of it, someone who can't even withstand this level of coercion should be the legendary trash of cultivation, right? Brother Bai Piao, be careful, you can't say that. Brother Gisha, what are you afraid of? The truth. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2322. The two of you talked to each other, but they started chatting in Swifa Square. The other students all looked bitter and profound, and these two were the only ones who were still willing to talk about it. The point is that these two guys are too bitchy. You can talk when you talk about what you say, why do you have to belittle other people? The key point is that these two people insist on mentioning each other's name every time they talk, and the voice is especially loud, for fear that others will not know their names. Anyway, no matter what, the two of them are completely famous now. Up to the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, down to the ordinary foreign students, just quietly watching them pretend. Can you please calm down? Now you are all targeted. If eyes could kill, you would have been killed hundreds of times. Fang Fan curled his lips, and then complained, I don't know what to say now, my head is as big as a cow. Boy Fang Fan, you don't understand this. Although it's a bit high profile, have you seen that my attention has increased? Tisk tisk tisk, those girls are all looking at me. My God. They won't confess to me directly when they go down later, will they? Boy Fang Fan, what if dozens of girls confess their love together? Who should I promise? Or should I accept them all? Bai Biao is already full of YY. Fang Fan was unable to complain. Brother Fang Fan, Brother Bai Biao's words are not rude, or you will join us too. Shall we form an iron triangle? Gisha raised his eyebrows and suggested from the side. Not interested in. Fang Fan shrugged, there is really no need to continue with this kind of low-key pretense. Iron triangle. Interesting. Brother Gisha, Fang Fan is just shy, sorry, let's just help him. Order with me. Cough. Brother Fang Fan, you said that you only need to practice in the academy for 10 years to beat all the mentors. Brother Fang Fan, you are amazing. You also said that you want to hang and beat the deputy palace master. Brother Fang Fan, you still say that the demigod realm is not enough. Brother Fang Fan, what do you mean, after 100 years, there will be no rivals in Guangming Academy? Brother Fang Fan. Bai Biao scratched his throat and began to yell, anyway, every sentence must be preceded by the words Brother Fang Fan. Now Fang Fan's name is also well known around. After shouting this, Fang Fan basically offended all the mentors and even the deputy palace master Shui Wanren. Shut up. Stop talking nonsense. Or I'll kick you down. Fang Fan walked forward with a dark face, and kicked over. Bai Biao dodged a wave, Fang Fan didn't move again. Fang Fan boy, this is your fault, let's not keep a low profile. Tell me, you obviously have such a talent, right? What are you afraid of? I think I said it a little bit implicitly, dare you say that you don't think you will be able to beat the entire Guangming Academy in 100 years? Bai Biao continued to yell, anyway, just do it to death. What the hell am I? I'll beat you to death. Fang Fan's complexion turned dark immediately, and he went up to give Bai Biao a big beating. This guy is too deadly. This has just entered the government. Even with such great ambitions, can we keep a low profile? In the future, I will practice in Guangming Academy for a period of time, so I just pretend to be like this now, and I still need to find a tutor with a hammer. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2323. Immediately, a rather farce scene appeared on the Swifa Square. Fang Fan chased Bai Biao and ran around. While the others were trembling in order to resist the coercion of the mentors, Fang Fan and Bai Biao were not affected at all, let alone talking, even fighting. On the high platform, the instructors were suddenly stunned. What the hell, slap in the face? Among them, there are quite a few mentors in the Holy Venerable Realm, and their coercion has no effect on these students. Isn't this a slap in the face? On the contrary, Murong Yu, the first-level tutor of the God of War Academy in the crowd, couldn't help but raise his lips slightly. This guy still likes to show off as always. I'm afraid it's the only one who can ignore the coercion of the saint-level mentors with the ultimate quasi-sacred level cultivation base. Murong Yu thought to himself, then nodded silently. All kinds of thoughts began to flicker in his mind. These two guys are too arrogant. It is absolutely impossible for me, Sima Zhen, to accept such an arrogant, unruly student as a student. Sima Zhen, a super tutor of the God of War Academy, said seriously. That's right. Instructor Sima is right. And it's only at the peak quasi-sage realm, and you haven't even broken the sanctuary, so you just pretend like this. Students like this thorny head must be suppressed. A student like this who doesn't obey the teacher will definitely turn his back on the back of his head. A few instructors talked to each other, and the instructor seemed to have a sense of rhythm. As for what they think in their hearts, it is unknown. It can only be said that their heads do look a bit iron. This wave after wave, what kind of trouble do you want to make? Oh. If you don't accept it? Then let me accept it with difficulty. I like to train this kind of prickly head. The corners of Murong Yu's mouth raised slightly, and he said with deep conviction. They are all millennium-old foxes, what are they pretending to be? Cough. Instructor Murong, your qualifications are still inexperienced, so let me do it? Yeah, this kind of prickly student should be fully taught by an older student like me. Are you really going to rob me? If you want to rob my apprentice, do you want to fight first? Grass. I want these two students. Especially the one in the peak quasi-sacred realm. I heard that he killed a 4-star cultivator in the holy realm who had awakened the blood of a demigod with his peak quasi-sacred realm. It's a genius. Aren't there few geniuses you've delayed over the years? Let me be his mentor. The scene underwent a 360-degree rotation. Those mentors who were making all-round complaints now want to become Fang Fan and Bai Biao's mentors one by one, even at the expense of fighting. The scene once seemed extremely eerie. Gao Song, the dean of the God of War Academy, and Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, looked at each other, feeling a headache for no reason. What do these old guys think in their hearts? Can they still not know? He clearly wanted this kind of high-quality students, but he was afraid of being targeted first, so he started belittling crazily, making other instructors think that Fang Fan and Bai Biao were the kind of low-quality students, so that they themselves could miss it. I can only say that it is really too much. Wouldn't it be over if I said clearly and plainly that I wanted to recruit this student? I have to show off a wave of operations. This time all faces were successfully slapped. Also self-slapping. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2324. But I have to admit that this guy is indeed a bit different. The ultimate quasi-sacred realm can do such a thing. What if he is promoted to the sacred realm or even the holy realm? What will it look like then? If you can go up and fight back after reaching the Saint Venerable realm. This kid's fighting talent is too terrifying. Born to belong to the battlefield. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, was talking. His eyes were flickering with sharp rays of light, and various thoughts gathered in his mind, and his feelings couldn't help but become stronger. Ever since I met Fang Fan for the first time, it seemed that he seemed extraordinary. What followed was even more so. Even the land of crossing tribulation has been ruined. There is indeed some artificial ability, but the future is also limitless. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, thought this way in his heart, and had already made a decision. At this moment, on the Swifu Square, Fang Fan and Bai Biao are still fighting. At this moment, Bai Biao's body has been kicked countless times, but this guy's skin is too thick, and ordinary attacks are simply scratching. And this guy started yelling Fang Fan's name frantically in order to get revenge. Fang Fan, just admit it. You think that Guangming Academy is not enough to train you, a supreme talent like you. Fang Fan boy, I actually understand what you mean. You came to Guangming Academy to practice for a few years, and you will be able to graduate in a few years. Boy Fang Fan, speaking of it, their graduation standards are really too simple, not difficult at all. Fang Fan boy, you said that you alone can beat all the freshmen, they are all war scum. Boy Fang Fan, you also said that those senior students are also a little bit stronger fighting scum. Bai Biao crazily ruined Fang Fan's reputation, and seemed to be getting more and more exhilarated. Fang Fan was really confused. Can he show some face? Is it really okay to be a little bit more obsessed? This wave after wave, what kind of trouble do you want to make? Fang Fan's desire to complain is really strong now. The sense of accusation continues to erupt. Fang Fan could even foresee that when he completely became a member of Guangming Academy in the future, whether it was a new student or an old student of the academy, or those mentors, I am afraid that everyone would have to set him up as a model. People are afraid of being famous and pigs are afraid of being strong. Fang Fan has always advocated pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger, but it's a pity to have Bai Biao as a pig teammate. The students from the surrounding schools were all grinning from ear to ear. Cultivating in a school is very boring, and it is also a kind of enjoyment for them to have such a small episode during cultivation. The gathering place of Tiandao Society members. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. This junior is too interesting. Fang Fan. Now I remember that there is another student Fang Fan. Kui Qing, head of the logistics department of Tiandao Society, laughed from ear to ear. It's so interesting. Yeah, the students in this class are really too skinny. Sister Kui Qing, how good were we in that class, how can we be so exaggerated? Zhao Ziaja, deputy director of the logistics department of Tiandao Society, shrugged, and then laughed too. What's so funny about you? A group of women with long hair and short knowledge. Zhou Kaiyao, vice president of Tiandao Society, curled his lips, and then followed suit. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2325. Zhuoqiu Yao, you discriminate against us women. Okay. Blatantly engaging in gender discrimination in the academy, if I report to the tutor, you will be finished. Kui Qing, director of the logistics department of Tiandao Society, gritted her teeth while talking, her eyes were about to pop open at this moment. Cut. How grown up, you still make small reports. Aren't you convinced when I say you have long hair and short knowledge? You think it's funny for them to fight in the Swifu Square? Didn't you see anything else? Have you seen that under this level of coercion, academies below the 4-star sanctuary level don't even have the ability to speak? Ordinary 4-star sanctuary students can also speak a few words. If you talk too much, you will be out of breath, but you see that Fang Fan and Bai Biao? The two of them are in Swifu Square. I have been jumping up and down for so long, my face is not red and I am not out of breath, and I don't pay attention to the coercion of those masters at the Holy Venerable Realm. Don't forget that they are freshmen. By the way, you two, one is a prefecture-level student of the academy, that is, a third-year-old senior, and the other is a mysterious-level student of the academy, who is also a second-year senior. You are also considered outstanding in your respective grades. Just you go up now, with such pressure, how long can you have fun? Zhou Kaiyao, vice president of Tiandao Society, was talking and his eyeballs changed. Appreciate talents. Yao has always felt that his foundation is very solid, and he has always been proud of being able to leapfrog battles, but now seeing Fang Fan, he is still a little vain. At this time, a voice suddenly sounded in the Tiandao society, Fang Fan is the supreme quasi-sage. When this sentence came out, there were bursts of shouts in an instant, and the scene was locked in an instant. Yes. Fang Fan is the pinnacle quasi-sage. Not even sanctuary realm. Nothing. The key point is that the student who is nothing is better than their old seniors and seniors. My God, what kind of freak is this? Kui Ching, head of the logistics department of the Tiandao Society, opened her mouth wide in an instant, and then fell into a daze. That's why. What are you waiting for? Why don't such freaks and geniuses hurry up and grab our Tiandao club first? Could it be that they want to take advantage of those bastards from the Guangming club? You're not just the head of the logistics department, that bastard president even arranged for you to be the temporary head of the recruiting department. It's your duty to recruit new students. Damn it, this president is really eccentric. Just because you are his woman, all these lucrative departments will be given to you. Zhou Kaiyao, vice president of Tiandao Society, was talking and then muttered with emotion. Zhuo Qiuyao. You, if you talk nonsense again, I'll be in a hurry with you. I have nothing to do with the president. Don't pass it on to me, can you? I have nothing to do with him. This is a matter of my reputation. Kui Ching, head of the logistics department of Tiandao Society, immediately became anxious. While talking, a helpless expression appeared on her face. Are you unwilling to see you like this? Could it be that the president's fat pig overlord has forced himself on the bow? You play so wild. Zhou Kaiyao, vice president of Tiandao Society, took a deep breath, his eyes full of astonishment. Zhuo Qiuyao. Get out of here. Speak nonsense, and I'll break your leg. Kui Ching, head of the logistics department of Tiandao Society, took a few breaths and almost fainted. A good person, but he has a poisonous mouth. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2326. Look at it, I have long said that you have long hair and short knowledge, but you don't believe me. You don't have the guts at all. It's really. Tell me, with your temperament, how can you manage the logistics department and recruiting department of our Tiandao Society well? President, that bastard can't know how to use others well, he's clearly using his power for personal gain. Shameless. If I, Zhuo Qiuyao, become the president, he. Zhou Kaiyao, vice president of Tiandao Society, was still yelling. Even at this time, he still refused to stop. Anyway, it's chattering, talking constantly. At this moment, on the Swifu Square, the noise of squabbling is intensifying. Fang Fan and Bai Biao are like never-tiring machines, chasing after them all the time. He didn't pay attention to the coercion of the mentors at all. This scene was very exciting to watch. Brother Fang Fan and brother Bai Biao are too strong. Damn it, these two guys are not human. Are they directly immune to the coercion of the teacher in the holy state? Besides this, I really can't find any other reason. I, Gisha, claim to be a hero of the generation, but compared with brother Fang Fan and brother Bai Biao, I am far behind. Gisha was deeply moved, he was really hit at this moment. Now that he was talking like this on his mouth, his eyes couldn't help flickering with a different kind of light. There are still some emotions in my heart. Of course. My husband, that's naturally extraordinary. Xiao Liyulai rolled her eyes, then puffed out her chest and said arrogantly. It is to show a wave of presence at this time, and to let other little hoofs know that Fang Fan has already got his name. Is this also a kind of caution? Miss Li Yulai and Brother Fang Fan. As expected, as expected. Brother Fang Fan is indeed a hero of the generation. Admiration. Kisha rolled his eyes, then nodded quickly and said. While speaking, he couldn't help but glanced at the high platform. On the high platform, the teacher Murong Yu, the first-level tutor of the God of War Academy, was still standing there. His beautiful appearance really hammered the goddess teacher's card. Miss Li Yulai is in the 5-star sanctuary realm, and she can be regarded as the highest among all the freshmen. It's not impossible to say that she is the newcomer king, and her beauty is enough to be called a goddess. In addition to the goddess mentor Murong Yu. Brother Fang Fan, the blessing of all people is too enviable. Hey, you should be like Brother Fang Fan in life. Gui Sha secretly sighed in his heart, and his eyes shone with a different kind of light while speaking. As he was speaking at the moment, the corners of his mouth unnaturally murmured. In any case, the sense of fluctuation in his heart still seemed very strong. I'm so upset. People just can't use it for comparison, otherwise it's me who is sad. This feeling is so real. Cough. Everyone, you can stop for a while. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, coughed, then glanced around and said. Shui Wanren's eyes especially lingered on Fang Fan for a long time. This guy is too enchanting. And the student named Bai Biao who fought with him is also very special. Then there is Li Yulai, the girl who has been by his side all the time. When she was on the awarding platform a few days ago, she obviously hadn't stepped into the sanctuary realm yet. Only a few days later, she directly crossed 5 major levels and was promoted to a 5-star sanctuary. The initial state is really rare. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2327. Hearing Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, Fang Fan stretched himself, not going to fight this Bai Biao for the time being. In fact, in general, the first half was really fighting, and the second half was about letting go. What Gui Sha said before still makes sense, and it is time to choose a mentor, and it is reasonable to choose a mentor who is a bit awesome. Everyone has a preliminary understanding with the instructors, so let's enter the tower of the academy. 2 hours later, the mentors will enter the tower of the school, and it will be time for you freshmen from the inner palace to choose students and mentors. According to previous experience, this time, in order to make you feel the warmth of the school in a more humane way, the school has made some simple adjustments to the way of selecting tutors and schools. This time, besides you, there are 1,000 non-staff students involved in the selection of the academy and the instructor. In other words, 2,000 of you will participate in the selection of tutors and colleges. Cough. The first to third floors of the Tower of Learning will be used by the instructors of the Research Institute, the fourth and fifth floors will be used by the instructors of the Refining Academy, and the sixth and seventh floors will be used by the instructors of the Priest Academy. As for the eighth and ninth floors, they are mainly for the students of the God of War Academy. In addition, because the space of each floor in the school is limited, all floors can only accommodate up to 500 people. If each floor exceeds the capacity, then all the students on this floor will be directly assigned by the academy and mentors, and will not be eligible for selection. In addition, each person on this floor will be deducted 100 credit. That's all for now, now it's up to you. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, left directly after speaking. Overall, he seemed quite casual and calm. It's just that the difference between this rule change and the previous ones is too big. The previous rule was that all the students were on the first floor of the tower of the school. They first chose the school by themselves, and then chose a tutor they liked according to the school. But this time, doing it like this is obviously the rhythm of infighting. And why are there 1,000 more people? What's going on here? Didn't it mean that students from the inner palace are eligible to participate in the selection of tutors and colleges? Where did the 1,000 people come from? Drawn from the foreign government students. Bai Biao looked surprised, and while talking, his eyes couldn't help scanning the surroundings several times. Fang Fan secretly narrowed his eyes, thinking that this matter might not be that simple. It's a non-staff student. It's the students stuffed in by major forces through special channels. It's like this every year, just get used to it. How do you get the resources for your school? If there were no such non-staff students, how would we get so much sponsorship? Jianzilang Tianya of the Tianlang sword sect's Tianjian faction shrugged and said very naturally. Obviously this guy knows the rules here. I'll hum it. Still engaging in unspoken rules. Is the school so depraved? Aren't those students from the foreign government making trouble? This is also making trouble. After all, they were actually admitted. They are not qualified to participate in the selection of colleges and tutors. Why can these non-staff students? Shameless. Despicable. Bai Piao didn't care about the current situation, and immediately followed up with insults. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2328. This statement is quite true. Fang Fan glanced at Bai Piao strangely. Where does this guy have a sense of justice? There's no way. Even if the school wants to get rid of the mud and not be stained, it really can't do it. And this is related to the major forces. Although the students from the foreign government are unhappy, they can only choose to bear it. However, not all non-staff students in the academy are eligible to participate in the selection of the college and the selection of tutors. According to the regulations, only non-staff students in the true sense of the sanctuary have this privilege after they have survived the thunder disaster in the sanctuary. Actually, if they perform normally, these non-staff students in the sanctuary realm will also have a high probability of passing the assessment and becoming the inner school students of the academy. It's just that there will be some mistakes during the assessment process. For example, two powerful forces, there was a collision, and then the masters of the two sides were beaten out of temper and were eliminated respectively, but their strength is still good. It would be a pity to be eliminated like this, so the forces behind these people will use the method of high sponsorship from the school to encourage their descendants to enter the academy as non-staff students. While talking, Lang Tianya followed up with the explanation. If you say 1,000 words and 10,000, that's also a black deal. It's an unspoken rule. Shameless. What do the masters of Guangming Academy do? It's all about the desire to trade power, and it's still so blatant. The palace master and dean of Guangming Academy are really. Bai Piao has completely drifted away, and the waves of high-spirited talk no longer depend on the occasion. Fang Fan turned his face away, pretending that he didn't know him, and just don't get involved with him then. What happened to the palace master and dean of Guangming Academy? You seem to have a lot of opinions. At this time, Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, and Gao Song, the head of the God of War Academy, came together and stood behind Bai Piao. The scene once seemed very embarrassing. Even if Bai Piao is floating again, he still knows how to restrain himself in this situation. After all, you still have to hang around on other people's territory in the future, and if you mess up your relationship now, do you want to continue hanging around in the future? Cough. I meant that the palace master and dean of Guangming Academy are too strong. Managing such a large school and college is too hard. The key is to take care of every student in every possible way. This is definitely the most fair, just and legal institution I have ever seen. It is the greatest honor in my life for Bai Piao to be able to study and practice in such an institution. I am extremely lucky and excited to be able to become an insignificant pawn under the leadership of the great palace master and dean. My admiration for the palace master and the dean is as vast as the endless heavens. My gratitude to the palace master and the dean is as indestructible as the supreme god realm. Bai Biao has already confirmed that he has no face. This guy has always been famous for being shameless. The long face is for hitting yourself. I don't know him, really, he has nothing to do with me, I don't have such a bad boy. Fang Fan waved his hand and quickly separated the relationship. At this moment, Gui Sha on the side is full of admiration. When will I be as frank as Brother Bai Biao? Brother Bai Biao actually said everything I wanted to say. It's just that I'm stupid and don't know how to express it. Brother Bai Biao's words are from my heart. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2329. Gui Sha said solemnly, while speaking, he looked at Shui Wanren, the deputy head of Guangming Academy, and Gao Song, the head of the God of War Academy, full of infinite admiration. Fang Fan. Too bad. Is this a forced flattery? All of these are starting to stop being so embarrassing. Fang Fan felt his scalp tingling inexplicably now. Just say, is this really necessary? Do you have to come this wave? Gui Sha is now also crooked by the white streamer. Okay. Stop flattering. I just came to see you, don't cause trouble for me later. The matter of non-staff students is a major decision of the school, don't always think about it. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, had a dark face, and complained angrily from the side. Yes, this is natural, we are all good students who obey the law. If it's a discussion, it's this guy who is talking about it, but I really don't know him well. While Fang Fan was talking, he moved away from Bai Biao for a while, and he had to do what he should. Bai Biao was stunned, so he was sold? Humph. You're not a restless kid either. I will enter the tower of the school later, don't hurt too many people. In the future, we will all practice under the same roof, don't make the relationship so bad. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, took a deep breath, then shook his head and said. He knows Fang Fan's nature too well. On the surface, he seems to be more well-behaved than anyone else, but behind the scenes he is the most troublesome. What does the deputy palace master mean, don't hurt too many people? Does that mean you can hurt people? Is there still a battle to go in here? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and while talking, his eyes gradually lit up. What are you fighting for? The school originally wanted to select better students through this method of survival of the fittest. But don't be too ostentatious. If someone dies, you will feel better. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, took a deep breath, and then said resolutely. It is still very clear on this matter. Oh. Don't worry, I have a measure. My sword still has a feel, and I won't kill innocent people indiscriminately. Fang Fan nodded sincerely and said. You still want to use the sword? Dean Gao Song, go and issue an order, saying that the use of weapons is not allowed in the tower of the academy. Anyone who dares to use a weapon will be fired immediately. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy's eyes lit up, and quickly followed suit. Almost didn't expect this joint. It would be fine in normal times, but now there are quite a few little devils here. If these little devils get in, maybe something will happen. Preventing them from using weapons can at least reduce the casualty rate. Now Shui Wanren can only think in this way. Master Deputy Palace Master, you still don't believe us. Under your wise leadership, how could we do untimely things? Is it possible? Fang Fan patted his chest and said resolutely. Stop being so talkative. I still don't know you. That's it, just give me face, don't go too far. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, rubbed his swollen and sore forehead, and while talking, the expression of helplessness on his face grew more and more. This was indeed a helpless act. In all aspects, it is indeed a bit too difficult. Sometimes it's true that you can't hold on. After Shui Wanren, the deputy head of Guangming Academy, left, Gao Song, the dean of the God of War Academy, looked at Fang Fan and the others with a smile on his face. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2330. There are 4 colleges in the Guangming Academy, among which the God of War Academy is naturally the first. Although the Priest Academy has a good status and is still linked to the major temples of the Light Alliance, there is still a certain gap in terms of hard power and the God of War Academy. Cough, student Fang Fan, student Bai Piao, and this student Li Yulai and student Kisha, if you want to join me, go to the 9th floor of the tower of the academy. Guaranteed to pass. Gao Song, the dean of the God of War Academy, winked and then left. After Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, and Gao Song, the head of the God of War Academy, left, the mentors from the 4 major colleges rushed up. Those second-level tutors don't have that kind of face to lean up at all. Basically, those who come here are first-level tutors and special-level tutors from various colleges, and they are basically the existence of the holy state. In this aspect, it is natural that the status is unusual. Student Fang Fan, I'm Wu Lang, a super instructor of the God of War Academy. Student Bai Piao, I'm Sima Zhen, the special instructor of the God of War Academy. Student Fang Fan, I am a special tutor of the Priest Academy. Student Fang Fan, I am a super instructor for refining students. One wave after another is all about establishing relationships. To put it bluntly, Fang Fan and Bai Piao's previous performance in the Swifu Square was recognized by them. Their main goal was to recruit Fang Fan and Bai Piao. After all, under the pressure of the major mentors at that time, only Fang Fan and Bai Piao could not be impressed. Although Guisha's performance was okay, but compared to Fang Fan Bai Piao, he was not so interesting. It can only be said that this aspect is indeed very real. What instructor doesn't want to be able to teach a few students with excellent qualifications? In this way, they will have face when they take it out. At least I can hold a scene or something. Fang Fan tirelessly troubled himself, his head was about to burst at this moment. On the other hand, Bai Piao felt that his self-esteem had been greatly satisfied. It's just that this guy performed another wave of divine operations. Which one of you has more female students? Are you pretty? Do you have a partner? What's your impression of me? Do you want to be your student bag distribution partner? These are Bai Piao's original words, they have not been exaggerated at all. This guy really dares to say it. This is not here to practice and study at all, it is clearly intended to find a wife. Fang Fan turned his head away, thinking it was time to break up with this guy. Hang on with this guy, he's really about to crack. Student Fang Fan, to be my apprentice, you can offer whatever conditions you want. You are guaranteed to be satisfied. Not far away, Murong Yu came over with a twisting and enchanting figure, and there was a kind of pun in his words. This little goblin's courage is getting bigger and bigger, and she doesn't know how to avoid suspicion in public. Perhaps due to the unique sensitivity of a woman, Li Yulai subconsciously stepped forward and hugged Fang Fan's arm. So it's teacher Murong. Mr. Murong is really beautiful. My husband said that he is allergic to beautiful tutors, so I would like to thank tutor Murong for his kindness. It's hard for you to come and find my husband in person. Xiao Li Yulai said, my husband on the left and my husband on the right. This is clearly a possessive desire at work. Maybe she saw something in Murong Yu's eyes and tone, so she was anxious to declare her sovereignty. The scene was a little embarrassing for a while.